Come with me to make dinner for 12 to 13 construction men. On the menu, we will have sourdough dinner rolls, sourdough biscuits, mashed potatoes, gravy, one whole chicken, some chicken drumsticks, peas and corn, and fresh chocolate chip cookies. So to start, we want to boil our chicken, and then we're going to use that broth to make the chicken gravy. I already strained most of the juice out of here, so we're just going to carefully pick her up, take her guts out, and put her in a pot, cover her with water, and then I'm going to add, normally I would add celery and carrots, but I do not have that. So for today, we will just be adding onion and garlic and letting her simmer. Okay, so while the chicken is simmering, I'm going to cut up my potatoes for the mashed potatoes. When I do mashed potatoes, I prefer to cut them into small pieces like this, so that once they're boiled and cooked all the way through, they will be much easier to mash. So you can see here, I just put my pot in the sink and I just let water run over it from the tap. Is fine. Make sure your water is cold, and you'll see the water in the pot with potatoes is very cloudy. That is all the starch getting washed off. So just let this water run through until the water is clear. And don't forget to check on your chicken. That is making a chicken broth. Here's me. She's doing great. You can see there's tons of steam. It's ready to chicken broth. And I went ahead and pulled out my other chicken. I always make sure to pull out whatever I'm making for dinner in the morning time or afternoon time, so that the meat can reach room temperature when I go to bake it or cook it or however I'm going to prepare it. Took a little break from cooking the dinner for tonight and made my own some breakfast in bed and a lovely cup of chocolate milk. And yes, one of these men is my man. Him and his brother and my brother own a construction company together, which accounts for like half of the construction people coming tonight, and then the other half is a crew that they work with. Okay, we are now going to be straining the chicken from the chicken broth. It is fully cooked and all the way done. One fully cooked end. We have one beautiful pot of rich chicken broth to make into a delicious gravy, and one whole chicken to pluck all the chicken off of now. I'm going to put it all in the pan and put some chicken broth on top of it and cover it up so that it stays warm until tonight. And then I'll possibly need to reheat it. Okay, so I'm scooping all the seasonings out of here with a fork, and I'm putting it on my cutting board, and I'm just using the same fork to mash it up, scoop it, and put it in this pan where I'm going to put all the shredded chicken and some more broth to keep the chicken nice and juicy. And then I'll just mix everything together in there. So the chicken is all shredded. I prefer to do it by hand. I would recommend to let your chicken cool off a little bit longer than I did, because I did end up burning my fingers quite a bit. But it is now sitting in chicken broth on the stove right behind me. My taters are boiling quite nicely. I used the same pot that I used to make the chicken broth, and I didn't rinse it out at all. I just left whatever was still in there, and then I'll strain it off once the potatoes are soft all the way through and easy to mash. But that way the potatoes will absorb the extra chicken broth flavor, and it will make the mashed potatoes next level deliciousness. Now we're going to mash the potatoes with whatever you can find, honestly, will work. Add some butter, some heavy cream, and some milk. And I going to start mixing the biscuits, and because I'm making sourdough biscuits, they can just sit in the fridge and chill out until I'm ready to bake them tonight, and then I'm gonna bake them about like an hour before dinner. So now I'm going to take the dinner rolls that I put together the day before that have been cold fermenting in the fridge and give them a little egg wash before I pop them in the oven to bake. So the biscuits are currently baking. They look beautiful. Got a little bit too much extra milk on that one. I'm melting some butter to make a roux for our gravy with the broth. Peas and corn are melting with butter. Potatoes are getting warm in there. The chicken has been sitting in the gravy. It's getting ready to heat up. And we have our sourdough biscuits and our sourdough dinner rolls, our shredded chicken, our chicken legs, our mashed potatoes, buttery peas and corn, and gravy. So I did not use a recipe, but it's just a very basic chocolate chip cookie, and then I toasted pecans in some honey and butter so they kind of like candied and caramelized themselves, and it turned out like a pecan pie chocolate chip cookie. The boys all loved it.